All right, good evening, everybody. David Paul with you in the KHOU 11 Weather Center here in Houston, Texas. But we are monitoring our what is now Category 1 Hurricane Nicole, a rare hurricane in that this is going to be the first time we've had a landfalling November hurricane hit the continental United States in 40 years. And this is going to be only the second landfalling hurricane to ever hit Florida in the month of November. It'll be the third landfalling hurricane to ever hit in the month of November in Florida. The last time they had a hurricane hit in the month of November in Florida, that was in 1985. So this is an unusual event indeed. And of course, hurricane season does go through November. And so here's the wind field around the storm. And it is already putting wind gusts almost to 50 miles an hour up at KHOU Beach on this Wednesday evening. West Palm Beach, wind gust to 41, gust to 32, Boca Raton. As you get on the southern side of that circulation, and here's the center of the circulation, the winds do begin to settle down. They're not nearly as strong on the weak side. But on the strong side, the wind field is so broad, it is really churning up the surf. We've got wave heights out here, 26 feet at a couple of the buoy spots out there, estimated to be going as high as 30 feet, the wave heights. And again, because the wind field on this system is so huge, Charleston gusts out of the northeast to 26, Savannah gusting to 23. There's Jacksonville, wind gusts out of the north to 44. We've been getting tremendous wave action along the east coast of the U.S., Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, causing a lot of beach erosion because of that. This is also coming at the time of the high tides, the king tides taking place with the full moon just happening yesterday. And so you've got above normal tides, you've got a very, very large wind field, just huge. It extends hundreds of miles from the center, the 39 tropical storm force winds, 39 mile an hour wind plus, all the way to Charleston. And because of that, you're getting all this tremendous beach erosion along the east coast. As far as the wind field, Cat 1 hurricane making landfall near Melbourne late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, and then moving inland, but still a core of winds that could still be sustained at near 74 miles an hour as it moves over central Florida as we head through the overnight and early morning hours on Thursday as the wind field finally begins to shrink. Here's the forecast cone from the Hurricane Center. Again, moving inland tonight, early Thursday morning as a Cat 1 near Fort Pierce, and then moving across the state. And by Thursday lunchtime, still a 50 mile an hour tropical storm as it passes perhaps just north of Tampa or near Crystal River. That's still going to give Tampa quite a bit of wind and rain as well. And then it turns more northerly. Notice how this is being yanked to the north. And then this heads up into Georgia, where Atlanta will have impacts from the storm as we head into Thursday night and Friday with rain and still potentially some gusty winds. And don't forget, these landfalling systems can produce tornadoes well inland. So inland Florida, inland Georgia, the Carolinas, even up into the Virginias, you will have at least a slight chance for a tornado. So this system sitting here is about to be yanked to the north. So what are the steering currents? Well, at the moment, Nicole sitting here is on the eastern edge of a little ridge of high pressure. See the clockwise flow right here? So that's what's helping to pull it almost due west right now. And we'll move forward in time and see how that moves around the north side of that ridge here. But eventually it gets pulled north as this much deeper and much more amplified trough digs deep into the continental United States. That trough comes in and it basically will scoop up the storm and push it off to the north and northeast. You see the trough digging into the middle part of the country. This is by Saturday. The storm itself losing its identity, but all the moisture and still some wind with it, moving into D.C., New York, New Hampshire, Vermont. As we head into Saturday, significant weather impacts here with quite a bit of rain and gusty wind. And then as we head into Sunday, it moves up late Saturday, early Sunday, races up to Halifax and up to St. John's in Nova Scotia, and look at the snowfield left back behind it all the way through Quebec and then into the Great Lakes. So that's what's moving the storm in that direction. As far as rainfall goes, here's a broad look at it and widespread, 1.5 to 4 inches of rain up and down the eastern half of the country, eastern quarter of the country. We may see quite a bit of rain across the spine of the Appalachian as the orographic lifting mechanism of the mountains help to enhance rainfall there. Again, this is going to be specifically Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday through here. But I expect to see many reports of flash flooding. We'll have to wait and see. Quite often, computer models will a little bit underestimate the amount of rainfall to get. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting at least some spots that see 5 to 7 inches of rain out of Nicole. Here are all the watches and warnings right now. Hurricane warning now up for landfall in just a couple of hours away from Daytona Beach down to south of West Palm Beach. Tropical storm warning, Savannah to Jacksonville, where you're getting tropical storm force gusts. And of course, you're getting all the wave action and the surf and the erosion taking place there on the East Coast. And then tropical storm warnings on the West Coast of the Florida Peninsula, as well as that is still forecast to be a tropical storm with winds sustained near 50 as it passes near Tampa by around noon on Thursday. And so tropical force storm winds could easily impact the Big Bend of Florida and from Tampa down to Fort Myers. As far as storm surge, we're already seeing an increase in wave and sea level height all the way from West Palm Beach up to Jacksonville and further to the north. And the darker purple, definitely an increased risk, especially because, again, we have the king tides taking place right now and up to 5 foot of sea level rise, especially at times of high tide. And then still a storm surge watch, Savannah to Charleston, where at times you could see low-lying roads and low-lying areas and beach accesses being inundated by waves as the surge increases, as that counterclockwise rotation just pushes the sea up against the beaches here across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Here's the way Future Track sees the motion of the storm, making landfall late tonight, and then by 9 a.m. Thursday, it's crossing the middle part of Florida. This particular run has a center a little bit further north of Tampa, but Brooksville to Ocala, you may very well have tropical storm conditions there for a couple of hours during the day on Thursday. You can see the heavy rain bands that will be moving around the center. And we go into Thursday night. It's up into the panhandle of Florida, crossing I-10, but look at all the rain already up into Georgia. By the time we get into Thursday evening, it rains all night, Thursday evening, Thursday night, into Friday morning, still raining in Atlanta, but look at the rain shield up the Appalachian spine all the way to D.C., Raleigh, the Carolinas getting wet, the Virginia's getting soaked as well, and rain will be north of that, pushing into New York as we head through the day on Friday. So wide-reaching impacts from this system. And you can see how the rain shield is stretched out to the north and east. That's a function of that big trough I showed you earlier, pulling those cloud tops and pushing the rain and the lift off to the north of what will at this point be a center that is beginning to disintegrate, but still with some gusty wind as well. As far as a severe weather threat, these landfalling systems, Cat 1 hurricanes, even just tropical storms, can spin off quite a bit in the way of tornadic activity, so much twist to the atmosphere, and as that rotation begins to interact with the frictional components of the land, quite often you can get these very low-based, small little EF0, EF1 tornadoes, but of course they can do some significant damage if it hits your place. So there is at least a 2 out of a scale of 5 as far as severe weather, including tornadoes and damaging gusty winds, from Ponce Inlet to Jacksonville to Charleston, all the way up to at least the southern portions of North Carolina. That's Thursday. And then Friday, as the storm continues to drag in all that energy, still a decent chance for an isolated spot of severe weather from Raleigh to Columbia, South Carolina to Wilmington in North Carolina. Again, a 2 on a 5-tiered scale. That's your severe threat. A little closer look at rainfall potential for Florida. And again, models quite often underestimate how much rain will fall out of these tropical systems. So at the moment, I see a lot of 1 to 2 inch potential rainfall tonight, tomorrow night as we head into Thursday night when the storm pulls out. But it would not surprise me at all. In fact, we're going to see some spots that see 4, 5, or 6 inches of rain. So certainly flash flooding in spots in Florida and up into Georgia will be a significant problem. So that is where we stand as Nicole, Cat 1 hurricane on this Wednesday night, is just a few hours from making landfall on the east coast of Florida, moving west at 13, max winds at 75, and it looks like that may be about as strong as the storm gets, a low-end Cat 1 as it makes landfall here on this Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. On the coast, southern Florida, hunker down, stay safe, stay weather smart, keep an eye and keep in contact with your family. And with a Cat 1 like this, the best thing you can do is hunker down, stay in your home, and just let this move through and hopefully avoid any type of significant damage as it comes on through. But there at least will be a flooding risk. And with Cat 1 winds, there will be some tornadic risks, and there will be at least some wind damage to some property there as it moves on in. That's where we stand on this Wednesday night. We'll keep you posted as we move forward. Stay weather smart and stay safe.